So, Elliot, we're going to work with you with the dream, and can you tell me the dream?
Okay. It was a dream with animals that have all been a feature in my life, and I've had them as pets at different times.
It's within the dream?
Yeah, it was all in a dream. There was 4 different animals in there
Yeah.
I've had as pets, and they look similar to the pets that I had, but not exactly the same. And they were all in the garden. It all took place in the garden that was similar to my parents' garden back in London.
Okay.
And in the dream there was cats, there was a rabbit, and there was a tortoise and a snake.
Cat, rabbit,
There were several cats,
cat,
a rabbit, a tortoise, and then the snake appears a bit later.
Mm-hmm.
And the tortoise was asleep, and he had a really long neck that was like all crooked. Like, because when a tortoise sleeps, it like sort of like its head droops right out of its shell,
Mm-hmm.
and it has, they have quite long necks. But this one had a really long neck that was all crooked. And then I realised the snake was in the garden. There was a snake, and there was a rabbit, and I wanted to. All the cats were just like lazing around, like just like chilling and not really involved. They were just quite lazy and like sunbathing. And the snake was released in the garden, and I had the rabbit, and I was gonna feed the rabbit to the snake.
You were?
Yeah. But then the snake disappeared, and then I realised that because I'd had the rabbit in my hands that I'd let go of, now I smelt of the fur, and the snake was going to come after me. So there was like a whole fear. There was generally a whole fear thing around the snake. The snake was generally none of the animals were aggressive, but the snake was very aggressive. It was like a hunter. It only existed to like. It only had one obsession. It was to hunt. And then the snake disappeared. It was under the shed, and I saw it coiled under the shed, and I thought it was going to strike at me. And I managed to grab it and put the snake's bite onto the back of a cat, a stray cat. Like, it bit the back of the cat's neck, and then I think I tried to grab the rabbit and like prise the snake off and feed the rabbit to the snake, and then the snake was only like a head that was. It was like, it became like a bit more, even more weird and like monstrous sort of thing. So that was the dream. It was like this whole dynamic of these animals in the garden.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which aspect of the dream would you like, or which being in the dream would you like to dialogue with?
Well, I'm interested in each of them.
Okay.
I'd like to get a little bit of information from each of them, because I felt that each animal has its own character, and each is like a part of my personality.
Okay. So let's just find yourself in a dream situation. Tell me when you are.
Mm-hmm.
And tell me what time of the year is it? Is it warm? Is it cold?
Yeah, it's warm. It's sunny.
It's sunny.
Mm.
And is it outdoors still?
Yeah, outdoors.
It's outdoors. Your feet you have shoes on your feet, or?
I think because I'm barefoot now, I feel like I'm barefooted in the garden.
You're barefooted in the garden?
There's a nice feeling of standing on the grass barefooted. Yeah.
Grass.
Yeah, the grass and the sun is shining.
Okay. And the animals are in front of you, or?
The tortoise is there. The cats are further at the back of the garden.
Okay.
The cats are like not fully domesticated cats. They're like sort of strays. They're quite similar to the ones that I see around. They hang around out by my apartment in Jerusalem.
Do you still want to speak to the tortoise first?
Yeah.
Okay. So the one in front of you is the tortoise?
Yeah.
Is he awake or asleep?
He's sort of a bit of both. He's like half asleep, like dozing.
Okay, so just alert him to your presence.
Yeah.
Okay, how do you do that?
I used to stroke my tortoise on the head. Used to give him a little stroke on the head.
So the tortoise responds, yeah?
Yeah, they like get scared and then they chill out.
Okay, ask the tortoise, tell the tortoise that you're going to dialogue with him.
Mhm.
Yeah. And ask him whether he's willing to.
Mhm.
And then ask, yeah, he's willing?
Yeah.
Okay, ask the tortoise, what are you doing in my dream?
The tortoise is something ancient. He's really old. He's like one of those, like a Galapagos tortoise. He's a little bit like one of those, like a sort of symbol of ancient evolution,
Okay.
and he's lived a long time.
Is that what he tells you?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is what the feeling that I'm getting from him.
Okay. So, is there anything he can say in words? Or in thought or telepathically?
Yeah, there's something where he's not fully involved in the whole situation in the car, but he's just is as he is.
Okay.
He's sort of like a permanent fixture, but also just sort of is in the background because he's so old and so ancient. You almost like can't fully, and he's quite, there's tortoises are quite cumbersome as well, so he's like not as involved.
Okay. Is he there? Ask him if he's there to teach you anything about yourself or to reveal to you anything about yourself.
The vibe I'm getting is sort of a discarded or disregarded part of self, which is ancient, but is just so old that it's difficult sometimes to relate to it in all the drama and things that are going on.
So you represent the ancient aspect of things?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any other question you'd like to ask him?
There's something about him being asleep.
Yeah.
Also like fairly dormant as well, like not fully actualized as well.
Okay, is that his nature?
It's just that's what the tortoise is representing. Yeah.
Okay. Is your dialogue with him concluded, or is there anything else?
Yeah, there's the cats now I can see in the garden.
Okay, wait a minute, just before you conclude, thank the tortoise.
Mhm.
Perhaps you can exchange presents with him?
Give him a nice tomato to eat.
Okay. What does he give you?
He sort of does a little trot, a little sort of semi-dance, and then wanders off.
Okay.
Doesn't give that much.
Okay, the cats. Are you walking to the cats, or? Are you
Yeah, they were keeping an eye on what was going on, but then they're all chilling at the back of the garden in like the sun.
Do you have to walk towards them, or they approach you?
I have to go to them. They're lazy.
So you're going to approach them
Yeah.
and ask them. Yeah, you're there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, ask them what are they doing in your dream.
They're like a gang, and they're a bit like scavengers. They're like sort of they're like the cats in Israel. They're not really domesticated cats. They're like a sort of gang of pirate cats or something, like taking chances and but they're just at the moment they're just lazy. They're just sort of lazing around.
Okay.
Just they don't get involved. They just watch everything. They like watching what's going on, but they don't really get involved.
What do they represent in your inner world?
There's something slightly uncomfortable about them. Is that they could do more, but they don't. They just sort of observe, and they're like comfortable in their sort of gang.
Is that what they represent in your world?
Yeah.
An aspect that could do more, that
Sometimes there's a comfort in social activities and sort of not pushing the envelope more.
Okay. Is there anything they want to tell you?
It's sort of they're not that bothered. They stretch and roll around like cats do in the sun.
Okay. Is there any question you'd like to ask them?
They sort of feel a bit annoying. Sometimes you want to just sort of stamp, and then they all and they all sort of scatter a little bit. There's something I don't like about them, because they're like, they could do more, but they don't, so I don't like them.
Is that something?
Feels like a little bit dark in that they sort of just, they're like alley cat. They just hang around and watch and like watching the drama, but don't get involved. Although they could do it all.
Can you convey that to them? Say that to them, that aspect you don't like in them does it represent anything? Is that aspect there to tell you something?
There's something cute about them that does endear help being given. Again, like cats, they're good at attracting attention to certain people that they know they can attract attention from. So you can, like appearing cute and needy and stuff.
Okay. What do they want to tell you about that nature of that?
Just to learn from different animal characteristics.
Okay. So what's their, metaphorically speaking, what's their teaching? What's their medicine?
To know how to in order to be more active, how to bring more, it feels a bit manipulative actually, but how to bring more attention to yourself, to mobilise and stuff, and that actually, even though they seem quite lazy or lethargic or whatever, they're actually very clever at being able to get what they need and what they want when they need it.
Right, so they're the gang people.
Yeah.
Okay. So is that concluded with that?
Yeah.
Okay, is there any present you can exchange?
Yeah, some tuna, like a whole tuna thing that they eat very fast.
Okay.
They gobble it up.
Is there anything they can offer you?
There's a dead mouse that they offer, but I don't take it.
Okay, you take it, put it aside, but
Okay.
give this to be received.
Okay.
Is that
I've put it aside on the rocks.
okay? What's the next animal?
So the rabbit, there was in the middle, the rabbit the rabbit isn't comfortable because it's scared of the cats.
Yeah.
So it's on its own, whereas the cats are a collective. So it just sort of sometimes appears a little bit in I'm picturing also my parents' garden, so it appears in like the back of the back of the sort of flower beds or behind a bush or something. Yeah, it's quite scared as well. It's quite scared and timid.
So the rabbit is on his own.
Yeah.
Scared and timid. Is he in your vicinity right now?
It's hard to get near him because he'll watch for a bit. He looks similar to a one-eyed rabbit I looked after in Svat for a few months for someone. and used to you'd try and catch him when you'd let him out, but then they'd dart away again.
Can you invite him to dialogue with you?
From a distance, from
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
with a bit of carrot.
Ask him if he doesn't mind to dialogue with you.
Yeah, from a distance, if it's calm and it's further back in the garden.
Okay. Feels safer.
Yeah,
Okay. Ask him what does he represent in your dream.
it's a type of innocence. Innocence, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and sort of something that's almost like a baby or a child, something very vulnerable, and something that could be, you have to. It's different to a child because they has to take care of himself, but something that's vulnerable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what does it have to tell you? Ask him. What is it doing in your dream?
Well, it represents vulnerability, but it also is something that's sort of quite hidden. He only appears at certain points, and then it runs off again. It's almost like a fear of the vulnerability.
Okay. Is there any message he wants to give you?
Or acknowledging it more and inviting it in. And I guess there's sort of an evolution here as well of the stages of what each animal is, like a sort of process of development, maybe. I don't know. It's not something that I can easily handle. It's something quite fleeting, the rabbit.
Okay.
And in the dream I did later on sort of try and grab it and then feed it to the snake. So there's some kind of issue there.
Okay. Ask him if you should be, how he wants you to relate to him.
I'm allowed to stroke it now, and there's just a fear, it almost is so scared that it allows me to stroke it and it's shaking. So when the rabbit goes into fear mode,
Okay.
it's just constantly living on a level of, that there's predators out there and of fear.
Is he wishing you to make him feel safer?
I think it just accepts what it is, that I could help to, destroy it or whatever. They sort of, it's just such a level of fear that's just the way it is. That's just sort of almost like nature. There's vulnerable animals and there's predators.
Is there anything you'd like to ask this rabbit? Anything else?
I feel more of an empathy for it. I want to sort of acknowledge that.
Okay.
Because in my dream I was sort of caught up in the whole thing of trying to deal with the snake and stuff.
Okay.
And so that relationship's shifted a bit.
Okay. Is it concluded with the rabbit?
Yeah.
Okay, would you like to exchange presents?
I gave it some more carrot and some strawberry as well.
And what does the rabbit give you?
He gives me some bit of his bedding, like some bit of cardboard or something.
Okay.
That's been all chewed up.
Okay, so now it's the snake.
Yeah.
Okay, where's the snake?
The snake is at the back and then he moves quite quickly through the garden.
Yeah.
And it's just a whole different energy. I had pet snakes once. They're just very intense and got a very strong energy.
Okay, what colour is the snake?
He's like dark green.
Dark green.
Yeah.
And is it a big snake?
Yeah, it's quite big, yeah.
Okay. And ask the snake if he's ready to dialogue with you.
And I was pretty scared in the dream of the snake. It was
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So you're aware of your fear right now in the dream?
Yeah, I'm using my hands more as like a sort of protection,
Yeah.
aware of my hands.
Okay. It's also, I don't know if the camera sees this, but your ears went red.
Yeah.
So, you are in touch with that fear now, or with other feelings?
This is the most powerful energy by far. It can cause the most. Yeah, the snake also is like very powerful energy, and it's like almost like a focused intent, like a mission, and nothing detracts from that. There's nothing. It's just once it's locked its sights, once it's smelt, its prey. It is just. It makes a beeline for that, and nothing stops it. Just incredible power in that.
Are you willing to dialogue with it?
On a certain level, yeah, because it's like it feels like it's going to strike me.
Okay, ask it to hold on, and would it be able to dialogue with you?
For a bit.
For a bit, okay. Ask it, what does he represent in your dream?
Like what I said, a very focused intent that can become obsession, and just being careful not to feed that obsession, but to maintain the balance of the intent.
Okay. Ask it if it represents an aspect of you.
Yeah.
What aspect is it?
Just that there's a mixture of energy, desire, and religion, and then where religion can blur into idolatry.
Okay.
Yeah. The snake itself isn't evil. But it can bring in a dark energy. But the snake is just doing what it does. It just.
Ask the snake what's the positive qualities about it.
It's active the whole time. It's never really resting. It's just always hunting.
Okay.
It's always. It's not. I was thinking compared to the cats, where the cats just lie around. It just doesn't behave like that in any way.
Okay. Ask it if you need to be afraid of it.
There's definitely a lot that's reduced from that, from the dialogue, but still I can sort of tap into its deeper energy a bit more, and it is quite scary. It is quite a scary energy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ask it what would it like to teach you.
How to strike at the right time and to not hold back.
Okay. What does that mean in your everyday life?
Sometimes I miss opportunities, and to not miss an opportunity.
So ask the
And almost like you can sort of mess it up by trying to feed the rabbit to the snake, which is actually sort of the wrong way around sort of thing. It's almost like not needing to do that.
Okay, so ask yourself and the snake, how can you use this energy in a positive way?
There's also some dark stuff as well, some like past stuff, and just sort of accepting that and not being as scared of it as it is,
Okay.
and just being stronger in.
Okay. Is the snake a bit calmer now?
Yeah.
Has it's calmer because he was afraid of you as well?
Yeah, well, I don't know. Just because it was talking. So in the dream, it was just there was like nothing stopping it. It was
But
just.
this is a dream within a dream.
Yeah. The dimensions of the room have changed as well. I just feel the room's closer now.
So now you're indoors?
I can feel the being indoors now
Rather than in the garden?
I just sense the space here more close in.
Okay, so you're not in the garden anymore?
It was just the dimension. There's something changing about the dimensions, or some kind of awareness.
Okay. Is the dialogue with the snake concluded?
Yeah.
Okay, would you like to exchange presents?
Yeah, I give it some animal to eat, and it rattles its tail in response. It suddenly has a rattle.
Okay, what does it give you?
It does a rattle on its tail, and has different coloured skin.
Okay. So you're sensing yourself. Where are you now?
Yeah, more like present here.
Okay. So you're going to come back from the dream. Is there anything else you'd like to know in the dream?
No, just that I'm in my father's garden. It was my father's garden.
So say goodbye to your father's garden. And gradually sort of say goodbye to the dream. Find your feet on the concrete floor here on evening Thursday, Tel Aviv. And come back. Okay. So, what do you bring out of the dream?
That was really cool. There was a lot more that came out of it than. Like, I only gave it a sort of more of a superficial look. Like, I just thought about it for a bit in the morning, but didn't have time to think about it more to go, or didn't have the space to go into it more. So it was nice to go in and actually get more deeper answers on the different facets of it. Yeah.
What can you take with you?
Definitely reducing the fear, which was a big factor in the initial dream, and also there was the fear. There was the like sort of what you think is the dark, and then there's the light, the rabbit. And then I felt like a guilt as well, because I'd fed the rabbit, trying to feed the rabbit to the snake, and the snake was getting all more like monstrous. But actually,
the rabbit represents vulnerability.
Yeah, but actually now just like calming a lot of that down, and just not having that intense sort of light and shadow thing, but actually just being more accepting on sort of what is, and is more balanced, and the power, the sort of
dynamic energy.
Yeah, just being more balanced with each of those. Yeah.
So can we say that every energy is good, both sides?
Yeah, I think it came to balance.
Maybe the rabbit is strong as well as vulnerable.
Yeah.
And the snake is vulnerable as well as strong.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.